Hey guys, welcome to this video tutorial where we will be looking at the Google Docs application, which is also a part of the G Suite platform. Now, the Google Docs is similar to our Microsoft Word application, which is mostly used for the purpose of creating text-based documents. Now, I currently have a new tab open and I am logged into my Gmail account. So ensure that you're also logged into a Gmail account in order to access and use the various features of the Google Docs application. Now, I have my grid icon, which is at my far right, and it also contains my apps. And I first want to locate my Google Drive. Now remember that the Google Drive is like our storage area, similar to our thumb drive among other storage areas. Now this is where our information will be stored based on the different applications that we use that is associated to Google. Now, in my drive, I want to have some form of organization. As you can see, I currently have two folders, and within these folders, I have files pertaining to those folders. So the first thing that I want to do is to create a new folder, and we can go ahead and select the new tab, which is at our left, and then we're selecting the first option that says folder. Now for this folder, I will go ahead and give it a random name, but for your purpose, you will give it the name that is most suitable. So I can call this Google Docs, and then I select create. Now, as you can see, our folder now appears here. So what I want to do is to go inside of this folder in order to ensure that whatever documents I am saving will automatically be stored in this location. On my keyboard or my touchpad, I double click and this takes me within the folder, and as you can see, the fact that the folder was just created, it gives us a default screen to drop files or to use a new button to add files within. Currently, as we are or will be using the Google Docs, again we select the new, which is at our left, and in this we're searching for Google Docs. So as you can see, Google Docs is located here, so we can go ahead and click on that, which automatically opens an untitled Google Doc. Now, once we have our Google Docs open, the first thing that we would want to do is to ensure that we give our document a title. Now, to do this, at the top left where it says Untitled Document, we can go ahead and click in that, and then once we click in there, it automatically highlights, so we can go ahead to start typing, or we can select the backspace/delete button on our keyboard. In my case, I normally just go ahead and type in my title. So again, for this, let's say my research. And this will be the title of my Google Docs. So whenever I return to my folder, this is the name that I will locate for this document. Now, similar to our Microsoft Word application, there are a number of features of the Google Docs that is similar. Now, let me just go ahead and enter. So it's my research, and this will be a title on my document. So what I could also do is to implement the use of a table of content, and as you can see to our left, this section outlines the major headings that we have within our document. So let's say I have another heading that I want. So the first one is to say my research, the second one is Google Docs, and my research is going to be title. So what I will go ahead and do, I can either highlight or I can place the cursor in the line where this title is, and then this section that says normal text, I will select that. hit the option that says title. Now, as you can see, once I selected that, automatically on my table of content, it shows that the my research, and it indicates that this is a major heading within our document. Now, if I place my cursor in the Google Docs line, I can go ahead again, select this option, but this time I want the Google Docs to be a heading 1. So once I select that, it automatically made the adjustments. And as you can see, the title is a little bit larger than the heading 1. And the title would indicate that this is the major component of our document. So again, on our left, we have our table of contents. So as we move through the document, if it is that we have a large number of pages, once we are adding our titles, headings, etc., then we can easily locate these by clicking on each of the title area icon. So as you can see, when I selected the my research, it brought me back to the heading that says my research, and this outline that it is a title if I select the styles area. If I click on Google Docs in the table of content area, once I click on it, then it moves to the area that has the heading. So this is very easy in regards to whenever we have a large document and we don't want to scroll through the entire thing, then we can use the table of contents to easily locate our documents. Now we can go ahead and play around with some of the features. So again, this area of our Google Docs would normally be considered as our ribbon. And our ribbon is the area where we have our different features that we can apply to our document. Now, for the file area, so we're going to begin with the top headings. So the file area, once I select that, similar to our Microsoft Word application, it provides us the ability to share our document, create a new document, open a document that was already created. We can also make a copy of this current document. We can email this as an attachment. We can download it, and downloading would indicate that whenever we download this to our personal system, we can save it as a regular Microsoft document, open document format, PDF, web page, etc. So this gives us a variety of options in which we can save our Google Docs. Now, the make available offline feature allows us to be able to still access and edit our files whenever we are offline. So let's say we were working on this document and suddenly our internet connection went out. The make available offline option, once selected, would allow us to continue working on that document, and then once our internet connection returns, this would be automatically saved online. So example would be, I have the my research and I type a paragraph here, and in the midst of typing the first word, so I typed the, and then my internet connection went out. It would indicate that I am currently offline, and also it would ask if I would like to continue working offline. Then you would go ahead and select the option that says yes once it pop up. So as long as you have the make available offline option selected, then you will be able to continue working on this document without internet connection, and then once you get back online, then the system will automatically save it in your drive, so you don't have to worry about losing your work or what have you. It will be saved as long as you have this feature activated. Version history will allow us to access previously saved work. So let's say we deleted some aspect of the work before and we accidentally deleted a very important paragraph or section, then the version history would allow us to locate that previously saved section, and then we could go back and access that in order to collect that information. So if I select the option that says see version history, once I click on that, it gives the updates as to all of the changes that I made to this document. Now, if I click on the first option, it would indicate that this was the very or this is the initial stage of my document. So this was the screen that I got when I opened the Google Docs. When I click on the most current version, it would indicate all of the information that I currently have. So the version history does a tracking of the major save areas that we did within our document. Now I will click the back arrow, which brings us back to our document. To continue, we can also select the rename tab, which would indicate that we're changing the name of our document. So let's say this is a major research. So we did that and we renamed our document. All right. The next option is to move. What this does is to allow us to move the Google Docs. So our current document, we are able to move it from our current folder to another folder. So let's say we saved it in the wrong folder and we want to move it to the correct location. We would go ahead and select the move option. And once we click on that, it gives us the option to either create a new folder, or it will give us the option to go back to our main drive. So once I select back, I am able to see all of the folders that I have created. And let's say it was supposed to be in the G Suite folder. So I could go ahead and select that and then click on move. And the application will be now moved to the G Suite folder. All right, so the move option will allow us to move from one folder to another. Okay, the next option is to add a shortcut to Google Drive. So this indicates that we're making a shortcut in the main area of our Google Drive application. I'm not sure for what purpose you would want that for, but you could add a shortcut to your drive. Next option is to move to the bin. So if it is that you're working on this document and you get fed up somewhere along the line and you want to throw it in the bin, then you can go ahead and do just that. Next option that says publish to the web. So once I click on that, we get a pop-up box to say that we can make this document available to anyone who is on the web, as long as we collect the link or we embed it to a location that they are able to access this. So let's say we wanted another set of persons to be able to view this document, or we wanted the entire internet to view this document, then we could copy the link and place it at the location where we want to display this document. Now the publish content and settings, so this is the area where we can indicate the setting that will be applied to this. So it's indicate that we can start publishing, meaning that once we click on this, it is now available to anyone we want to access the file. Another option, automatically republish when changes are made. So once this is ticked, if I go back to my document and I add my major research, then automatically the changes would be made on whatever website that this was placed on, or whoever it is that I shared it with. The live updates will be shared with those. The next thing in the file area is our document details. The document details just give us a in location where we have the file saved, who is the owner of this file, when it was modified, and when it was created. So as you can see, created would be the very minute that we open the Google Docs in the blank state, and then the modified would have been the last time that we made changes to the document. Now our next area is, we're still under the file tab, so I guess we will go through each of the tabs. So the next option is the language area. What this does is to allow us to be able to do check-in for the spelling within our documents. So based on the language that we have our document in, this would allow us to see if our spelling is correct or if it is that adjustments need to be made. Then the page setup would indicate how is it that we want our document to be displayed in. So we could select the portrait, which is the current mode, vertical, and then landscape would be the horizontal output of the page. So we are going to keep the portrait, and we could also change the paper size. So there is a variety of paper size. Letter size is our standard paper size for our documents, and if I click on that, then it would apply the letter size. We also have an option to change the page color, and in this I could go ahead and apply a light looking color to this, so the document would move from white background to this selected color that I provided. Margins, again, you can also make the adjustments if these are needed based on the content that you are creating. So once those have been completed, I could go ahead and select the OK option. And as you can see, my document background has been changed to the color that I previously selected. And then the final option within the file area is the print option. Now the print option gives us the ability to send our document to a printer, or we can automatically select a printer that we would want to have our document printed from. We also have the option where it says destination. We can print. If there's a connected printer, we can save it as a PDF, Google Drive, or we can have the option to see more as so where we can save it and so forth. Pages, we can select which pages we want to print, or we can customize the amount of page that we want printed. And then the color, do we want to print in color or black and white? Those are regular settings that we would see on our system. And the option that says more settings provides us with our paper size or pages per sheet. So if I selected 2 pages per sheet, then automatically it would minimize the size and then print 2 pages on 1 sheet. Margins, we can change that if it is required. If not, we leave that out. Scale, we can leave that out. The scale would have been based on customized, so we can scale it from 100 to whatever percentage it is. So we're scaling based on how it holds or fits on the paper that is there. Option for background graphics, that's up to the user. So if I select that, then it would apply graphics or whatever images that we want there. And then after that, if it is that we need to print, we would select the option that says print. So I cancel that, and then our next area will be the edit area. In the edit area, we have our minor options where we can undo a previously changes that was done. So if I select the undo, then it gives the option as to the last thing that I made changes to in my document. If I select redo, then it would apply the last thing that was previously removed from the document. If I select cut, then basically whatever area was highlighted is currently removed from the document. If I select paste, then it inserts that information back on our screen. If I select all, the option would highlight everything within my document. And then the find and replace option. So let's go ahead and click on this. Find and replace indicates that we want to find a word that is currently in the document and then replace it with another word. So let's say we want to find docs and we want to replace it with a full word, which is documents. So we find docs that is in our current file and replace it with something that is not there. And then we could match the case. So let's say it was uppercase or lowercase. We could have selected that as well as other additives. However, I want to now proceed to replace all. So let's say docs was in the document a large number of times and we don't have the time to look at these individually. We could just go ahead and select the option that says replace all. So please take note as to what will happen next. So we currently have docs, and when I select replace all, it changes it to documents. And this is a very quick way to finding words in our documents and then replacing it with whatever it is that we want to replace it with. And that sums up the edit tab. The next tab in our area is the view tab, and this has our print layout, so we could go ahead and deselect that. We click on that. So the print layout would be based on how it is that we want our document to show up when we're printing. The mode allows us to make changes based on editing, suggesting, viewing, and yes, so those are the three main ones. So if I click on editing, then this would be able to allow changes to be made in regards to editing of the document. If I wanted to change the mode to viewing, then if I try to type on this, I cannot be able to make any editing because of the setting that I just made. So if I return to the view and change the mode to suggesting, things in it that we may receive suggestion for. So again, the editing tab allows us to still make changes in our content, in our document, but whenever we select on the viewing, it only allows to view the document. We cannot make any changes to it currently. The ruler, we have the option to show our ruler or not to show our ruler, and currently our ruler is highlighted, so that is showing. It says to show document outline, which it would include our table of content area. And if I deselect that, then automatically it removes our table of content. So I'm just going to go ahead and reapply that. For the show equation toolbar, let's say we're preparing a math document, then we can easily include the equation toolbar, and this automatically allows us to enter equation based on our mathematical principles. So if I click on the new equation and then I select which of the equation that I want to use or to apply, then I could go ahead and do so. So let's just use one of these random. So the not equal, it would include that within our document. Show section break. This shows where our page breaks or where a certain section in our document ends. So let me go ahead and deselect that, and then the final option is the full screen, which would give us a full screen of this document. So as you can see, it removed our ribbon from the application tab. So if I select dismiss, then it will allow us to view our document in the regular mode.